Kickoff starts now.
Now, the Bears actually do not have a lot of depth in the cornerback position. They do have the great Kyle Fuller, as we just discussed. But aside from that, there is kind of a gap since they lost Prince Amukamara, which could affect the defense this year. But who do you anticipate will win that second quarterback role? Some of the options could be Kevin Tolliver, Tre Roberson, Artie Burns, or even the rookie that they drafted second round this year that both of us are pretty high on, Jaylon Johnson.
So just for the sake of it, I'm going to go over why each person could win.
Okay.
Kevin Tolliver is a player who is undrafted out of LSU. Last year when Prince Amukamara was hurt, he came in and he played pretty well.
Did he come in as like the number two? Basically when he was hurt.
Yeah, he came in.
I think that's the main reason. Yeah, why he would start. And sorry to interrupt you, but
he's proven himself. But yet he's only proven himself over a 2-game span. But still, that's still something that if you have Kevin Tolliver, that's a good thing that you've had someone prove yourself. Tre Roberson was the best player in the CFL. He had maybe 8 or 9 interceptions last year. He was one of the highest, he was one of the most coveted players coming into the NFL. And obviously it's
right,
not.
But it's also they're in the CFL for a reason.
Yeah. And he played for the Vikings. He was on their practice squad or something, and he was pretty good. He went to the CFL, so he shows a lot of potential, and he's proven that he could be a pretty good player. The only problem is that we don't know how much of it will translate from the CFL.
Right.
Then you have Artie Burns, who is a former first-rounder, and he's shown a lot of potential. The first 2 years, he was a ridiculous cornerback. He was very good, and then he drastically went down, and he started playing very poorly. He didn't even start, and at that point, he has so much potential. He's a very good character. He has a lot of potential, and I think that he's a person that the Bears would want to succeed, but yet he hasn't been able to. And if the Bears can unlock that potential, that's something very good. And obviously, in my opinion, the best choice is Jaylon Johnson, a second-round pick out of Utah. He was a shutdown cornerback in college. He has very good skills. The only problem is that he has a shoulder injury. But as you see,
think that's the main problem, not that he's a rookie and they're not sure that they can put him in yet. Wouldn't that be a problem?
Of course that's a problem, but I still think that rookies can still produce as cornerbacks.
No, I know I'm saying, but I think one of the reasons that they might be hesitant to put him in is just because he's a rookie.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to start off starting.
Right.
But I think the year goes on, he's going to progressively move into that role until he starts in it. And I think that having the depth, as you see, there are 3 capable starters behind Jaylon Johnson or whoever starts, and they'll probably say, okay, we wanted to pick Jaylon Johnson because we know that if he gets injured again with his shoulder, then we have very capable backups. Because honestly, if he didn't have that shoulder injury, he would probably be the second cornerback taken, second or third last year. He would be a mid first round pick.
Jaylon Johnson?
Yeah.
Well, wasn't he the third quarterback corner? No, he was the.
He was
the fourth. He was
6th or 7th. There were a few before
really?
him. But,
wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was the fourth.
He would mid to late first round, maybe 17, 18 around then. But that shoulder injury is something that is a pretty big deal. And that's why I still am a bit I wouldn't say concerned, but that's a real reason why I drafted him. But yet I think he has so much skill, and I think that the Bears want to develop him, and they'll put him in as cornerback too.
Yeah. So wait, so you think your verdict basically is that Jaylon Johnson will be eventually the cornerback too?
I think that he will be, but not to begin the season.
Yeah. I agree mostly with what you said. Tre Roberson, he is from the CFL. He has potential or whatever, but he's still from the CFL, and I don't think he's proven himself enough in the NFL. So unless he's doing something drastic this year or over the offseason, I don't expect him to ever have a consistent or ever attain that cornerback 2 role. As for Artie Burns also, he was good in his first 2 NFL seasons also, but unless he steps it up and becomes what he was earlier then also same thing with Tre Roberson. Now on to the 2 people that I anticipate most, that I expect to have the cornerback 2 role most, Kevin Tolliver and Jaylon Johnson. So Kevin Tolliver, I think, definitely will start off the season as the cornerback 2 since he already replaced Prince Amukamara and he played pretty well. I think the Bears would like to start off with Tolliver as a proven guy. But as the season goes on, I expect and I also especially hope that Jaylon Johnson will end up getting the start. He is a rookie, so like I was saying, it's hard to put in a rookie at the start unless they're like top 10 or something like that. But he has the most potential of the players that I've looked at right now. I think with Kevin Tolliver, you know what you're going to get out of him, which is fine. But if you want this defense to go to the next level, you're going to need a player who can provide more of a spark than Kevin Tolliver will. And that is definitely what I see in Jaylon Johnson. He has so much potential, way more than Kevin Tolliver will have. Kevin Tolliver is like the most solid of those cornerbacks, which makes sense why he would start. But hopefully, eventually, when the Bears develop confidence in Jaylon Johnson and Jaylon Johnson gets accustomed to the NFL, he'll be able to come in and take that cornerback 2 role.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting because there's so many options, and I feel like each one presents a different element to their game. Like,
yeah,
Artie Burns has potential, and Jaylon Johnson.
I mean, all of them have potential. All of them, from what we were saying, have potential. I think.
Yeah, but it's like
oddly, like the one with the least potential, like I was saying, is Kevin Tolliver, just because you know what you're gonna get out of him. But I don't like. Do you see Kevin Tolliver ever like making a Pro Bowl or like recording a large number of stats?
Not really, but
yeah, he's just like solid.
Exactly, like you know what you're getting out of Kevin Tolliver. Like Jaylon Johnson, I feel like I wouldn't say you know what you're getting, but he has a high ceiling. And Artie Burns also has a lot of potential. And Tre Roberson is a player who's just very interesting. He brings an element of dominance in his own game, which is something that can hopefully be converted.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this episode of From the Den, please remember to subscribe, comment, and like this video.
Or, if you're a Packers fan, remember to dislike and leave a nasty comment. Click the links on the screen to access additional content.